Yeah.
So they can totally hear and see
And the
us.
thing is that it's like I wanted to play one of those droids that are trained in lightsaber combat, because you've seen several of these over the
Yeah,
course
like
of Star Wars.
Grievous.
Some are training robots, and Grievous's Magna Guards are trained to understand lightsaber combat and even use it, but they still understand it for the sake of battling them with the staves. And,
David Tennant played one of those droids.
I was like,
Really?
and it's like I wanted to play a Magna Guard droid that was a master of lightsaber combat, and it's not simply for the sake of like, oh, I want to just play a lightsaber badass. I just was like, the big thing is that there was one form of lightsaber combat they had not mastered, and they've been obsessive about it in trying to find someone who can teach them, and that is Form Zero, which is partly a joke and partly a thing of like understanding morality and like socialization. Like,
Oh,
all that
who did
nonsense.
we lose? We lost Tux. Hi, Equilibrium. Okay, Tux is back.
But the thing is, no system will ever support a droid using a lightsaber, because it's like you gotta have the Force. And it's like, and even the Fantasy Flight game like probably has like one or two that you can sort of start on like without having to use Force powers, but everything else is locked behind a ability that you absolutely need to have a Force power, even if the others after it don't need Force powers. And it's like,
Yeah, I think that's always been the issue with Star Wars, is when you introduce Jedi, you either have kind of this Dragon Ball Z issue where everybody's either shite or Saiyan or nobody's special.
That's another thing. People playing Jedi for the sake of being a Jedi and not actually understanding what it means to be a Jedi. It's like playing Paladin, not giving two shits about their oaths. It's like,
Huh, what's that like? I've never encountered that before.
Welcome to
Actually,
the
have
bonus
you
roll.
encountered that before?
Yes, we have.
Uh,
It was an in-person game.
Drew.
You were with us.
Was he playing that?
Yes,
okay.
he was. We don't need to talk about that. Hi, welcome to the bonus roll Second Sight Agency campaign. I'm going to try and get through these announcements. Okay. Background music you're hearing is provided by Sirenscape, a powerful, useful tool for background music in many campaign game settings or worlds. Oh, shite. I need to do some music for something that I'm going to announce later. In fact, I'm going to announce it now. This upcoming Friday, we are having Session 0 live stream of our Shadowrun campaign. Yeah, that's it. I would have the people that are going to be joining me for this campaign wave at me, but only one of them is visible right now. One of them is visible, one of them is a spinning box of dots.
I'm verbally waving.
Yep. Anyway, me, Meryl, Zizva, and Tux will be playing Shadowrun set in 2081. Welcome to the future where elves, orcs, dwarves, and trolls run rampant, and wealth-obsessed massive creatures who will go to any lengths to control and maintain their power over the human race. Oh wait, no, I'm describing our current corporatocracy.
Yeah. And also, you still have to be on hold for 30 minutes, even though customer service is just an AI.
you have to hold down 0. That's how you get human interaction.
No, just a different AI.
Okay.
But one with better but one with better socialization.
I'd like to talk to your level 3 AI support, please.
So, a little seriousness for a minute. There's a lot of shit going down lately. It feels like the world is falling apart day by day, and there's a lot of people that are having troubles.
It's not the end of the world. It's just going to suck for a little while.
We fully support, or at least I fully support, and I would like to believe all my friends do, those who are struggling for some level of equality and safety in this world. If you are able to donate or spend some time to help out the movement, please do so. If not, there are a number of YouTube channels out there that have just long YouTube's videos of black musicians and artists with number of commercials spread throughout, and I've had one of these running for the past several days in the background on my computer, just generating revenue through the YouTube ads to go towards the donations. So find a way to help if you can. All right, seriousness over. For fun, who wants to do a recap? Did I forget something? Y'all looking at me like I forgot something.
You did sound-
Before we do recaps, I'm gonna
introduce
do one thing.
Oh yeah, do your little
Well, here.
yeah. I'm
My
here.
little thing. So, Reroll is an amazing app. Great website. Do all sorts of character designs with it. My placeholder character token that you'll see sometime eventually. Hopefully, it's been like 4 sessions since I've made this.
Yeah, I'm waiting for y'all to pick a fight.
Hey, I'm trying.
We
But,
know.
That is never a good sign.
But yeah, you'll
That's
see it
the
sometime. It's cool. It's a great app, and yeah, that's all I gotta say. With that, I guess you should do character introductions. Make it easier since we did, kind of to make it all at once. Because we have character introductions and then kind of like a quick recap. Do you want to do it at one time, or do you want to do them like separately?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'll start. I'm Halo Cat. I'm playing Farrell Temviz, also known as Frizz, and I'm a cool sorcerer dude. Lightning magic, cool other magic. I can basically cast any spell I want to. Really,
Zappy zappy
I
bang
like to say
bang.
that I can. So yeah,
Do you have one of those apparatuses? Like,
yes, I do have one of those apparatuses. It's also my cool little cleaning tool that I have. So
that's
yeah. Yeah, you can call it that. It's a bit of everything. So yeah, if we're just doing character introductions, someone else can go. Here's metaphorical torch or metaphysical.
All right. So Zizva,
metaphorical.
which cat had to be let out? Was it Little Miss?
Yeah, I had to let her out.
Tiny bitey sweetheart. She gave me a gift this morning.
Gave you a band-aid?
No,
Very
a
sweet.
laceration.
I know. I was
Guess
just being dumb.
the mic anyway. I'm Ziziva. I'm playing Ingrid, a Golgari shaman. I'll just leave it at that. That's good.
Ooga chaka, cancer.
Boy, everyone got real quiet fast.
Yep.
Yeah, I think
Vanessa,
audio
are
dropped
you
out
mute?
there.
Me? No. Are you?
For some reason,
They
sound
use
wasn't
an
coming from you for a second for me, but I think that was.
They're just like
Like,
fake
having-
whispers.
I think it's from my end. It feels like everyone's having some slight lag issues, and it's
Hmm.
like for like
I'm fine.
like for
Okay.
split seconds of time, people are just having like
Oh
Like
yeah.
the-
No.
Oh, I'm Tuck789, and I will talk slowly so that hopefully that won't be an issue. I play Faradir, the Simic. Am I offending people?
I have no
you're
idea.
a fair deer.
People are giving me looks on camera, and I don't know how to interpret
Hey,
this.
look. All I heard was that you're a Faradir, the Simic. Am I offending people?
No,
Oh,
continue, but maybe not at like 1/3 the pace.
Hi, I'm Tuck789, and I'm the Simic. Am I offending people? Typically known as Ranger. It's a weird custom class that has almost no alterations from a
let's,
Beastmaster Ranger.
let's be honest. Most people feel offended by Rangers in this edition.
I just feel bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
grow
pity 'em.
thicker skin.
And
Anyways,
better play options. It's like, work with your GM.
What was that Joe Cat thing? Just play a fighter with a bow?
Oh, yeah.
Or Rogue Scout.
Yeah. Even a druid. can
Oh,
work.
Twilight Druid, yeah.
Yeah. Nature cleric. All the above.
Hard
Okay.
on it while he's recovering
Let's-
from surgery.
No, I'm good.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
See, I got the surgery and then I did the healing magic to end it.
Yeah, they would have just done the healing magic if you had asked them for it.
Yeah, but then I wouldn't have had the surgery.
Surgery.
Ah.
So, I think that's pretty much it. Also, I'm a Simic hybrid. That didn't come. Yeah. You're Skidder.
There's only 2 of y'all left. Who's it going to be?
All right. Since I've been poking a lot of fun at Faradir, I guess it's my turn to step up to the podium to get shot at. He's like, all right, the mage. He's like, and I play like Grigum. He's like let's see. He's like drunken master goblin monk. He's like of the Selesnya conclave, currently on a walkabout. He's like visiting home. He's like, realizing just how foolish all of his like ventures have been when everything he needed pretty much was right there at home. So yeah,
So, not to complain, but for the time being, let's avoid references of shooting at people at podiums.
oh,
It seems like something
you know,
that,
that's fair.
yeah.
Does a 23 hit his AC?
Don't even joke about that.
Sorry.
Oh,
But yeah,
we're going.
I'll keep that
and
in
we're
mind.
demonetized.
That was me putting my foot in my mouth, and I apologize for that.
No, it's I advocate for political insurrection of any form. But I'm not going to give you instructions or tell you what to do or suggest that you
Yeah,
have
I was-
a million people storm the White House.
Yeah, I was more thinking like being shot at with tomatoes, but you know, it's like I guess it's more of a throwing
Okay.
act than anything, if anything.
Yeah. I mean, no, we're going to definitely be covering some political shit in Shadowrun because that's hard baked into the setting.
Mm.
Yeah, we may need a disclaimer.
Yeah,
on
I'm going to run a disclaimer at the start. I'm
that. No.
okay.
Hey, when we roleplay
That's
fantasy, we're roleplaying a fantasy. Sorry.
So
But yeah, we have one person left.
yeah, Rail, can you hear us? Rail may be busy drinking coffee.
I can.
Oh, excellent.
I have coffee.
Coffee
and I'm about
is
to turn
good.
my camera back on. If you'll give me half a second.
You sound different
Will I
today.
be able to see my ass?
I've noticed that too, right?
My face.
Yeah, I know. Like,
Look is good too.
like,
Okay.
doesn't
or I
sound
could just have
bad.
technical difficulty.
it's like it
Can
doesn't
y'all
sound.
hear me? Okay.
Yeah, no, it doesn't sound bad. It just sounds different, and maybe I like it
Because I
better.
switched over to my phone. I'm trying to switch over to the desktop app, and it froze.
Aw,
Maybe when we
the
get to your recap.
I forgot. No,
Yeah,
what time we
maybe
started
we'll just
this.
get the intro.
Alright. So yeah, hi folks. I'm Merle. I play Rail.
Testing.
Best dressed man in the room. Oh dear.
Don't just cut way down right after the
Yeah.
middle of Corvino.
When I opened the desktop app, it reconnected to the call.
Okay.
Can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah, let's just
Yeah.
start that over again. With damn, I can't think of a lyric.
Hi.
All right, so I am Merle. I am wearing a Bloodborne shirt because Bloodborne's awesome. I play Rail Corvino, the Orzhov priest, former Simic priest, the best dressed man in the room in any room, currently trying to deal with an unwanted engagement with his colleague, currently trying to deal with an extremely wanted courtship with his bodyguard, and wondering when exactly we're going to get into the come on, we got some Elder God type stuff to try to deal with down in that dungeon.
Not to mention,
By which
that
I
we
mean
also-
the Sunken Labs.
not to mention, we honestly have a negotiation to go to face down a dragon.
Yeah,
So I was going to say, if we all get killed by fish people, then I can't get eaten by a dragon.
don't forget there's
Yeah,
Angel
that's-
hunting while we're
yeah,
at it.
I was about to say, don't
Wouldn't
forget
wanna
you have an angelic serial killer too.
Oh,
See,
Yeah,
the
I mean,
way
yep.
D&D can go, I'm not sure that's entirely accurate.
Oh, and
I'm about to give
also,
away my
Yeah.
scrying materials.
oh,
that,
at least-
that is
And
a
also
Babylon
one-
5 level of management there.
also, one of y'all
Bomb's
has
gonna go off at
amnesia
11.
and is
When
apparently
do you wanna
married.
The
one.
bomb,
One.
the bomb apparently will go off around 11 o'clock. When do you want to reschedule the meeting for all the nations? It's like, make it 12. That way, if we blow up, I don't have to deal with it.
Yep.
So,
Oh,
so what
Babylon
if we
5
make
is
the
weird.
angel and the dragon fight? Can we get that to happen?
That's happened once
Let's figure out how to
already.
do that, guys.
Yeah, the dragon very nearly killed all of us. Trying to
Well,
avoid
let's
that
get-
happening again.
Let's get the angel to do the dirty work for us.
Oh God. We've already
I don't
tried
know.
that in reverse.
Huh.
We tried
What
sending
if
the
we get
dragon
the-
after an angel.
Wait, hold on. What do you mean we? No, we.
I didn't see you. I didn't
How
see
is
you
this-
complaining that you didn't get crashed.
I wasn't there.
Look, first
You
and
were
foremost,
there.
that was an action
You were being
did
played by
upon-
Rail.
That was an action you took upon yourself without consulting the team. It's like, first and foremost.
We were in the heat of combat, and we were crashing.
Y'all were literally like 3 turns away from hitting the ground.
Yeah. I'm
But
sorry.
at the
If you couldn't
time,
come
we
up with a
had
way
the
to stop
group
it,
discussion on it.
We're not.
You told us
look,
to just
look,
stop
look, hold up,
telling
hold
you
up,
things.
Hold up. Hold up. All I'm saying is that I'm not complaining, but don't make this a we thing, buddy.
me,
Like, I'm grateful, but you have to own up to your actions at times.
yes, I will own up to that time that I saved all of us.
Yes,
There were some,
There
there were
were
some knock-on
consequences
effects,
to
but more
saving us.
importantly, well, yes, but we wouldn't have had those consequences if we had all crashed and died.
which, honestly, in either case, I would not complain about it.
You can't
Well,
I
get
mean,
drunk
you
if you're
could have
dead.
just told it fly
Drinking is not
that
the
way
point.
until you can't fly anymore or something. No. Your option.
Sentence is we somehow flirted with devotion.
Look.
It was weird.
Hey, I remember you talking about how much you like devotion even.
Not in that way.
Anyhow. First and
I
foremost.
mean, thankfully, because that would have been a really awkward conversation with my refound
Fantasy
wife.
wife?
This is our in-universe recap as we're arguing around a table for some reason.
Does your wife know about your
Minus
crush
tradition.
on Ravana right now though?
Does
What?
Rail know
Huh?
about that?
Vader's been flirting with Mavana for weeks. Ever since 10 minutes before she accidentally called him Fairbear. Who
Wow.
notices this kind of thing?
In all fairness, it was less a term of endearment and more of a, oh shit, what's your name kind of situation.
I mean, she is an independent woman.
No, she's
to the
not.
bar
At
for
least in
him.
theory. At least in theory.
I went to the bar
She's
for
an
him to
adult
flirt,
woman.
and the only person he flirted with was your bodyguard.
She would know. She obsessively watches past episodes.
Well, it's a good trait to have.
Oh, Doom, thank you for hosting.
yeah. Please, Rail is many things, but if he's one thing, it's secure.
Is he?
He's pretty sure Mavana's going to make a choice and stick with it. At least that's what he'll tell everyone else. If they ask, which I guess they're not in character.
Yeah.
So, our recaps, I guess? Or do we want to just start?
I don't think you
Yeah, this
recap.
is
Right.
a really interesting conversation we're having on
So
the
it
train.
all began with the founding of Ravnica,
Oh,
thousands upon thousands of years ago.
It all began with the
no.
points before the founding of Ravnica
No.
True.
and the armies.
Alright.
Um,
But yeah.
I can start recaps because I kind of started the whole thing and snowballed out of control. So, there's a Simic lab. Okay, there's problems with it. It's flooded. There's monsters. Whole big ordeal. So we started off arguing about how we're going to get rid of it or if we're going to get rid of it at all. and then I was like, hey, let's do the responsible thing as citizens of Ravnica and go through the proper clearance. So I'm heading to New Prov and, went to go deal with the Azorius, and yeah. So, group kind of split up. Everyone did their own things. I'm just going to say what I did. I left. I got one of those earpieces. The things that are named as the words.
Spies Murmur.
Spies Murmur. That thing. So I got one of those. I took it off and put it in my pocket because I didn't want to get caught with that shit in my ear. And I left. Some people come to me. They can deal about their stuff later. So, went to New Prov. Talked to some people. I was like, hey, there's like monsters. Deal with it. And they were like, oh, you mean it's a zoning infraction? You deal with it. And then I was like, okay. And then I went back, and now I'm, waiting for everyone else to get back.
It's almost
And
like
that's basically all I did.
it's almost like the government isn't there to help you.
You're right. I thought that the Azorius would have been very happy to take more control of another place and have, a setup there or whatever, but it's fine.
You're
Well,
right.
that's still happening. It's just the whole getting rid of the monsters part they don't want to do.
Now you have 30 days,
Yeah.
and then they'll see if you have any zoning issues.
Yep. So yeah. Hopefully I don't have to do this whole thing by myself. If not, we're gonna have a good dungeon crawl solo. But if it works, I can just kind of convince everyone to come with me.
Nah. Rail's good for this.
Yeah, I figured.
Probably gonna die, but good for the attempt.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is I need
Yeah,
to start making a map. I'm kidding. I have a map.
Okay. Let's say you don't make like 12 maps for a session and then only go to one of them.
I'm not Matthew
Well,
Dude,
Mercer.
not anymore.
If you,
Yeah.
I think that's just you.
Yeah,
I
probably.
mean, honestly, Roll20 only allows 5 if you're a free user. It's like,
He's not wrong.
which I'm like, ugh.
I'm a free user and I have like 7 maps. Like
I can
no.
never get more than 5.
8
Like
maps.
5, and then it's like I try to put one more, and it's like, no, you hit your limit. You can't do anymore.
Are they small maps or big maps? You can only have 4 big maps. Like the underground river system, I can't upload it because I have to remove several maps.
Weird. I don't know. I have a bunch of big
Interesting.
maps and
Rail,
Yep.
talk, Rail,
Say that again?
talk about things.
And Fair Dear, they're together.
Right. So, Rail and Faradir,
Really?
I'm trying to remember what we did last week.
You
We
went through
also went-
bureaucracy. It's like,
Yes,
And
we were also
shopping.
dealing with bureaucity, but differently dealing with bureaucracy. Right, because we were looking into Faradir's past.
Hello.
Sorry, the caffeine hasn't entirely kicked in yet. We
Yes,
were trying to
so-
find records that might give us some hint into who Faradir was before Faradir was Faradir, and when Faradir was married. Seeing which you didn't even send us invites. I mean, I am very disappointed with past Faradir for not
Now he
inviting
wants
us to their
to
wedding before they knew us.
See, I would argue with you, but my wife is a fortune teller. You would
She
know
should have
about
seen
my
this
future
coming.
friends. So, you kind of do have me beat on that one.
I mean,
Sorry.
in fairness, her fortune telling told her the best way to reunite with you
Yes.
was to break your ankle.
yeah. So she's still in training.
Wow. She's doing the best she can.
Like she
Half
is a
level
fortune
five
teller, not a diviner. not a
Truth.
professional diviner.
But again, she's
So
doing
we
the best
got
she
one.
can.
Yeah. No.
Oh, she's got scrying supplies. If I give mine away, we could just take her with us.
I mean, we also. So she's got scrying stuff. You've got scrying stuff. I've got 2 different kinds of scrying stuff.
No, I have a concert present I've been using as scrying stuff.
Okay. Either way, we've got the whole scrying thing covered. She can work well as backup.
You don't have scrying stuff. I have augury stuff.
Excuse me.
I have augury stuff.
I have augury and I know divination now.
Yes, but
Did you not catch
scrying
that I cast it?
makes 1,000 gold piece tool.
So clearly, Ingrid is within range of the spies. That's good.
Sorry, yes, this is still in the not quite canon, semi-in-character section of the game.
Yeah, this is like
Uh,
the front page where Deadpool is arguing with the person that he shot in the face last episode.
Get to the part
Exactly.
of the summary where y'all go wine shopping.
Right.
Oh, that
right.
was
We
a
went
good
wine
part.
shopping because there it is, trying to get his groove back. And by that, I mean his apologize to his wife for forgetting that she existed. And I
Just like
suppose
getting her
rewoo her?
Getting his groove back is a somewhat rude interpretation of it, but okay.
Well,
Maybe not rude, blunt, yes, but
can you think of a better way to put
Correct.
it?
Yes.
Trying to
Reconcile.
That was
reconnect with his wife.
that was entirely rude, but not inaccurate.
Yeah.
Yo, that's a little bit. Let's kind of jumping a few steps forward here in this process.
Well, Faraday likes to move fast, doesn't he? I don't know. Does Faraday like to move fast? We've never actually
I
established
feel
that one
like
way or the
things
other.
move fast around Faraday.
Yes.
This
You just
doesn't
kind of
feel
get carried
inaccurate.
along with him.
Like a fish in the current.
Yeah.
Literal
Ziziva,
fish.
beautiful lady, you're up.
So, I had the evening off, so, figured I'd see Rithan. Maybe, see how he's doing on that whole consort issue since last time he said he didn't see the point of one. It's been a few months since then. Ended up going 2 hours walking distance away from the city for him to pull out a gift, tell a secret, and ask me a task, which, but if I complete the task, me his consort, but sneaky guy would not say for sure if it was an official gift. He's keeping his options open in case his mom goes ballistic, probably. So Ingrid's kind of theoretically been proposed to / not proposed to, and is going to go to his mom. Over 500 years old, undead necromancer. It'll be fine.
And then I
It'll
believe
be
we have Brigham.
fine.
Yeah, no, as mentioned with my intro, he did a bit of a walkabout, went to visit home, and realized just how silly a lot of his efforts in becoming enlightened have been when he really could have just stayed home and gotten the same effect.
He also got a gun.
Aw.
Most of it. Yeah, did get a gun. Learned a few things, especially that there's a lot of busyness in the what do you call them? The Outlands.
Close enough term. The
Red
Midlands-
Waste.
Red Waste, yeah. You're at the outer edge
Uh-huh.
of them.
Yeah. That's there. There are some, from what we can from what Brigham can tell, as well as some of the goblin community. There's a bit of increased Orzhov activity out that way.
Say one might even call them outlandish.
It's not
Yeah.
like a Orzhov Angel would be trying to get back at a Gruul tribe for burning down their stake in precinct, right?
The girl didn't down place. Is it strike by Reeve by the controller given from Brigham made the deal with the that burned down her building?
A dragon crashing through the ceiling roof did not help this situation much.
No.
Okay, I didn't say it was her only stop on this journey.
When you talk about the incursion arc out loud, it's like, wow,
Okay, all
that was a
aboard
lot.
Trainwreck Express.
Look, every adventuring group is just murder hobos.
We are not
That's some
murder
level
hobos.
of reduction. That's what it goes
Y'all
down
have
to.
actively avoided murdering people. I'm very impressed.
Well, we do live in a
City.
high society in this setting.
I
Yes,
mean,
we're not murder
High
hobers, we're
soci-
execution gentlemen.
high society is a strong word for this setting. Civilization, certainly. It's like it's more
Yeah,
civilized.
I think that's really more what I was going.
Yeah, it's like
DM tip: if you don't
Like
want to
there-
worry about a lot of combat and maps, make a mystery intrigue campaign.
but you have to make sure characters are built for it. Otherwise, they'll just be sitting around with combat options and no combat. It's like
This is true.
I mean, Fairdeer has a
Ten,
dog.
Oh yeah. Also,
I
have
think-
Kay.
You're at the point
Good-
where you're
good
just
boy.
throwing out prompts to delay again, you know.
I'm actually really genuinely enjoying this because we have been missing chat and chill a lot, and I don't get to hang out with my friends. I don't get to leave the house. Like, I was in the house for 3 weeks before I had to go out to the ATM at one point.
yeah, sorry about that. Like I typically am just wiped after work these days. Since like
No
mostly
worries.
because work is starting to pick back up again and whatnot. And it's like,
I know that's not accurate, hon. I'm being hyperbolic.
but yeah, it's like so like there's all that, and yeah, Graham's just been at large enjoying good old fashioned goblin hospitality.
Okay, everyone, roll me a
Doesn't
D.
matter.
Oh, go ahead.
I know it isn't, but that sounds like a euphemism.
Did we all roll you a d20 before?
Goblin hospitality.
Well, I was going to say, please go ahead and finish
Okay.
your mage. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, I was just going to say that there's just a sense of family regardless if you're a part of the guild or not, or whatever guild you're a part of. Almost
Aw.
like I'm openly a member of the Selesnya Conclave, and I just was like, "Hey, yo, how you doing?" with 2 Rakdos.
All right, so I need
There was
everyone. Oh, go ahead. I keep on doing that.
Aw.
I was like, no, there was no animosity between. But yeah, I'm finished now. Go ahead.
Okay, I need everyone to roll me a d20. Whoever rolls highest, we're picking up with your story.
Well,
Rolled a 1.
Aw,
I rolled a 17 before when you asked us to roll the dice. But I rolled
I
a 1
didn't
this
tell y'all
time.
to roll dice.
Yes, you did.
you started to and then you stopped. I wasted a 20 on that. I hope I don't need any crits later.
Oh,
You
that
did
beats out my.
The call
That
going
beats out-
out. Roll with dice in hand, rolling bones.
Yeah,
That was.
that beats up my 16. It's like,
Aw.
You're just dead
Got
set to correct me on stream today, aren't you? I love you. We should get married again. Okay, so
Apparently, that's possible.
Many things are possible.
by nature of the fact of proximity, since we're picking up with Rail first, Fairdeer, you're also picked up with because y'all were hanging out when we left off.
Right.
Yep.
They all got back together and started taking the train home.
Oh yeah,
This is true.
fair. The fair's hooked up.
Right, we were meeting back up. Matching
Yeah.
back up, whatever.
All right, they're carrying a bottle of wine, Frizz.
We have wine, and we know how to use it.
So y'all have finished
Yeah,
your
you did
shopping.
good.
Y'all have met back up. Y'all are on the Is It Subtram on the way back home. I believe Rail picked up a book.
I did. Shoot, I didn't write down what it was.
It was a
It
historical.
was a yes.
It was a historical romance
Rail
novel.
note.
Because the book goblins sell that kind of book.
Well, yeah, it's the kind of thing that you get pulp. You know, it's appropriate.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
So
So,
yeah.
Unless y'all are doing something, pretty easy trip back to the headquarters.
What time is it?
It's getting on towards about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I believe. And I'm sure if that's wrong, someone will correct me in a second.
That sounds about right from where we were last week.
Okay.
Hello,
Yeah.
can you give me a sound check?
Who needs a sound check?
Halo doesn't have his mic in his face.
Ah.
He's also not saying
we're all
anything.
good.
That would explain it. Thank you.
Yep, there we go. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
So y'all arrive in the station. There's a ticket taker waves y'all on through. Y'all are about maybe a block and a half from where y'all live.
Sure. So, are there any flower shops in that area?
Not like dedicated flower shops. There are a few like, hey, we sell flowers. Here's some chocolates. Street vendors. Think Aerith, only without the eventual sword through the chest.
One
Oh,
hopes.
spoilers
It's
for a game
been
that came out
40
literal
years.
decades ago.
Uh,
Yeah, that's the
It's
thing.
not
is
accurate.
with the
I know it
remake,
hasn't actually
how
been
does that
40
actually
years.
count?
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's new to somebody.
Anyways,
what are we talking about? I was like,
My rampant
Flowers and the
alcoholism.
buying of them.
Yeah, I guess
oh.
dozen roses.
Okay,
That is obtainable.
dozen roses. Huh. You would think that would be something that they would have in the base book as a normal cost. I'm going to say that it runs you about 3 gold.
Sounds good to me. I will get that and put
Jeez.
that in like a place.
Okay.
Look,
Okay.
Hallmark Corporation goes in all universes.
I mean,
They are
Hallmark is a word separate from a company, you know.
It's it's the Malhark Company.
if Wrangler Jeans can sponsor a Death Star,
They can what now?
that was a Rick and Morty reference for those of you who don't watch Rick and Morty.
Yeah, I got it.
I'm
Thank
sorry,
you.
I'm at least a season behind.
You're more than a season behind.
probably am too.
There's 2 Beths.
In
Yeah.
any case, yeah, get a dozen roses and put them in. I'm assuming I can make up a vase of water
Yeah.
with my adventuring stuff.
I love
Keep
that you're
them
kind of hijacking Rail and Ferald to carry your stuff for you, I assume. As y'all are all traveling together.
Wish I knew Unseen Servant. I do so wish.
Oh, I do know Unseen Servant. Yeah, I'm gonna
Oh.
cast that ritually.
Yeah, that's a fantastic ritual spell.
Alright, 10 minutes
Really
later,
is.
you have an invisible force to carry things for you.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'm just gonna
For how
Perfect for the
long?
lazy mage.
An hour.
like an hour,
Okay.
and I can just cast it again.
It takes you 10 minutes, so basically you have an hour carry time, then you have 10 minutes downtime, but y'all are too far from home. Or
Or
from
you
the
can
agency.
cast it before it's up. It's like,
Well, yeah, but then we'll have to stop for 10 minutes.
I mean, you'll have to
either
stop
way.
for
you're
10
gonna have to
minutes
stop
either
for 10 minutes anyway. Yeah. It's like,
True.
I'd rather have it still being held and just refreshing it than just be like,
Alright, and,
Yeah.
and you know, if you have anything of 5 pounds or less, I can carry it with a mage hand. How about that?
flowers.
Yeah, the flowers.
I don't know why everybody's carrying my crap. I mean, if you want to, that's fine. That's not
He's
quite
got-
the scenario I
He's
had
got
in my
arms
head.
for
but-
it. He's
Weird.
got extra arms. He can do
He's got
it.
Treat him,
Arms
treat him
for
like-
days.
No. Treat Faraday like the prince he deserves to be.
Yeah, he just had surgery. Come on.
And he's reconnecting with his wife. It's like, make a big show of it. It's like, lead this into a song and dance number later down the line for her.
Hey, look, I'll be honest. I don't exactly know the protocol of reconnecting with your wife that you have forgotten, but not due to any fault of your own.
Look,
I don't
all I'm saying
watch
is
many
that
soap operas, but
all I'm saying is that a song number would not hurt. It's like,
That's fair.
I do have a flute.
All of y'all have flutes. I think
I
the
have a
only
flute.
person that doesn't have a flute is like Ingrid and Ferelden. Ferelden.
yeah,
don't think
like I have a
Bill does.
pan flute, which
Eldra does.
I have a pan flute, which I pretty much have been treating like a harmonica.
I don't think I have any instruments on me.
Oh, I also have a horn. Or, I mean, I don't have them. I'm trained for them. It's like,
I have a
Third
vacuum
person,
cleaner.
Daldra. Daldra has the other flute.
That was her being Daldra. Alright, so an hour later, y'all have a unseen servant carrying stuff for y'all into the Second Sight Agency. Not a lot going on in the afternoon. A kind of... You haven't met him yet, Ferelden, but a bit of a willowy, wispy-looking man with a Van Dyke beard, black formal clothes, is sitting and doing paperwork. This is Pandravog, at the little U-shaped desk in front of a podium. He looks up as you come. Good evening. Everything all right?
Yep.
Hello there.
Hello.
So, who is this?
Oh, this is Pan. He's one of our many very, very capable assistants.
He folds.
Employees.
He closes a portfolio and goes and sets it on top of the podium. He's like, morning report is ready. I am going to confer with the rest of my team on the... And then he turns
Very
around
good,
and walks
thank you.
away.
Thank you, Pan.
Ow. Alright, so what's this report? What's in this report?
Oh, you going to take a look?
Yeah.
Alright.
I'll take a quick skim.
Inside the folder is a number of names with which y'all are at least mildly familiar. You've researched several of these. They are the people that have reportedly died to the Lawmaster in the second precinct, as well as several annotations and people on the record about how there was never a body delivered to the Golgari, how no crime scene was ever set up, recorded, or detailed. The people within the second precinct who has supposedly vanished have no history prior to 6 months ago. At most, none of the people who were listed as witnesses or who knew these people know or recognize the description.
Oh. So... Wait, that's all of them? They're just like...
In the second
The
precinct.
second.
Right. But so... If I understand correctly, so it's the... Lawmaster's quote-unquote victims don't seem to actually... I mean, exist as such.
In the second precinct.
Two in the fourth.
In the second precinct. Okay.
And sorry, which one was it that Ingrid's friend works in? Do I need to make a history check for that?
Yeah, please.
Sure. 11.
Chow Muradin and her little pet owl are chapter captains in the second precinct.
Okay. Good to know.
Having a few minor
So,
PC issues. Bear with me 1 second, please. Oh, they're just go. Yeah, when Microsoft Word just crashed and I lost every document I had open. 1 second. Please go ahead. I'm
Oh,
going to be
shoot.
opening stuff back up.
Yeah, I'm gonna just remind the party at large, Ingrid's friend who is high up. Azorius or Boros. Anyways, who's responsible that we went to
Serious.
is within the second period he's saying, so Ingrid, how was your journey?
She can't hear you.
He's not back yet. Yeah. I was being silly. Okay, have you seen Arissa around?
Are you
Yes.
asking Pan or?
Yes, assuming he's still there.
He stops at the doors. I do not know a Arissa.
Oh, sorry, damn it, I got convinced myself of a real name, Amonestria.
Oh, Miss Rose Fury said that she is on temporary leave due to family issues and to not disturb her.
Oh. Okay.
I believe she is still in her quarters. I don't think she has left yet. If you want, I can check.
I'll look into it, thank you.
Very good, sir. Is there anything else the rest of you need?
No, keep up the good work. We really appreciate your effort.
Certainly. Miss Daldra will be in the kitchen handling food duties tonight if you'll need anything. And with that, he kind of resumes heading down the stairs.
I'm probably gonna put like the roses in like my form. I'm going toward. Sorry if I'm hijacking.
Alright.
Okay.
You're cutting off there a few seconds. But I assume
Sorry,
you said you're putting the flowers
assuming
in water.
I'm not hijacking, Rail and
Rail has nothing better to do.
I just didn't want to overpower you guys.
That's fine.
So I'm gonna put the roses in like my room, so they're not like on my person. And then I'm going to go, I guess, knock on Arissa's door.
There isn't a response at first.
Arissa,
Yes?
hey, want to talk?
One moment, please.
Sure.
After about 5 minutes, the door opens. She's wearing just like a shoulder robe over her, a robe over her shoulders and tied in the front. Her hair is kind of tied back around her, at the nape of her neck, and her glasses are down on her chain around her neck. So, yes. What, is everything okay?
Come in.
Sure. She steps to the side. You can a lot of the divination paraphernalia that had been spread around the room is now picked up and stacked up on her little work table.
Oh, everything okay?
Yes. Is something wrong? Is there a problem?
You've been kind of cooped up in here all day from heard. I just
She kind of bites her lip a bit. I mean, it's one of those I felt like I could use a little... I mean, you know what it's like when you do something embarrassing. You kind of don't want everyone to stare at you knowing what you did.
oh, you're oh.
You're up and walking,
cool.
that's good.
Yeah, but the healing process seems to work so far. So you've just been kind of embarrassed about the whole
Kidnapping and breaking your ankles, yes, a little bit.
Yeah. I, yeah, I'm just a little concerned about being stuck in here. That just seems a little unhealthy.
I mean, I could use a window, but it is okay.
But it's a basement. I mean,
Yes, I am aware.
but yeah, well, I was looking through some records.
Yes.
So, we own a house.
Technically, your father owned it.
So, who been making payments?
No, I believe he originally used it as a, sort of hideaway from the Senate. That's why it is in the 4th as opposed to the 2nd. No one would look for a senator out here.
Oh. Hold on 1 second.
Give me that one more time. You were breaking up due to the
I
left.
love you.
I
Sorry,
did.
It's like, hold on 1 second.
Okay. She kind of like stops and watches you.
Yeah, so my father's a senator in the second precinct. That's interesting.
Well, he was.
He's
yes.
still active?
No, he retired 5 years ago. A little bit after we met.
I didn't know. Yeah, so anybody else living in our house, I'll call it?
No, I mean, we had your siblings visit periodically, but that was about it.
I'm gonna, like, go out for the evening.
Give me that one more time, you're breaking up.
You wanna, like, go out for the evening?
I mean, do we have the money for it?
Yeah. Yeah, don't worry about that.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Did you
And
want to go
don't-
somewhere particular or do something in particular?
I just want to kind of, go back. Maybe just go back to our house. Dinner, talk.
I don't know if, I mean, after the reconstruction, after the incursion, I couldn't pay for the reconstruction, so whoever rebuilt the house owns it now.
See. That's not our house. Gotcha. Okay. Oh, we could just do it in one of our rooms. That's fine. Or a restaurant. Is there a restaurant around you like?
I don't really normally go out to eat much. It's cheaper usually just to get food and prepare it yourself. I enjoy. Would you like me to cook you something? I can do that.
If you don't mind,
I
I'd never say no to your food.
She blinks a little bit. It's like, well, to date, that record is accurate.
See, I haven't changed that much.
She will nod and, like, let me put on something more appropriate, and she'll, like, go to close the door.
Sure. See you later.
Thank you. I'll meet you in the kitchen in about 15.
Okay. If you need more time, that's fine.
No, it's alright. I just need to put something on other than a robe.
Enough.
All right. She closes the door to change clothes and will meet you in the kitchen in about 15. Rail, what are you doing?
So, Rail is
Look
still
over Rail.
freaking tired.
Frizzler's standing like right next to me, listening.
Yeah, I'm just like, you know, the kind of incredibly awkward, just trying not to look directly at anybody so nobody has to acknowledge how awkward the situation is.
While standing in
entire
Arissa's room?
Outside of
Did I do good?
You're doing all right. She hasn't punched you in the face or tried to break your ankles again.
You asked her out, and then
It's true.
and now she's making you dinner.
Look. It'd probably go a lot better than if I were to cook them. Be fair.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you don't know her better. Well, you still know her better than we do, I would think.
Nope.
It's all right. You're doing okay. Don't stress
Hey.
about it too much.
I mean, she's only my wife. Nobody important.
Well. Oh dear.
Anyways, during
You're
that
the best
15
you can.
minutes, I'm grabbing the flowers out of my room and kind of huffing it to the kitchen, seeing if there's a place I can kind of store them where they are not noticeable.
The kitchen and the dining room is fairly large centralized area with about 6 long tables with benches and a cooking station along one side. Inside there are a number of the people y'all have seen walking around with either the fuchsia demi-cloaks or at the very least the second sight pins. Having a meal, while Daldra is at the cooking station. She does not have any of the metal piercings in, working on several different large dishes of food. She looks at it, what?
Hi. Is there a place I could hide this? A few minutes.
Oven? Cold box. Cabinet?
Box. Yes.
I don't know.
Sorry, like, all I heard was box and no.
Yeah,
It's
that
like-
kind of broke up on my side as well.
That's weird. Oh, it may have something to do with my computer systemically crashing on me.
Oh dear.
It's alright, no, I'm not fighting at all to keep things from shutting down while maintaining the stream. No, I was like, what? And just like, you can put something in the oven? Or the cold box? Or a cabinet?
Cabinet. Definitely
Okay.
cabinet.
She points
I'm
to
gonna
one
put
of
it in this cabinet. Please don't take it out of this cabinet. Is there anything in this cabinet that you will need?
There are plates and bowls and a stack of silverware in there. So, probably eventually?
I try to put it in kind of like the upper shelf.
Okay.
So, like, things aren't really used much.
Yeah, there's like some
gently,
pots and pans up there. And there is
Yeah.
a small nest of like books and like a few gold coins and some empty potion bottles. I
I'm
can't
gonna
hear
move
you,
it
hon.
to kind of the opposite side of that.
Zizba, if you're talking, you're muted.
Hear her?
I can't
Still
hear her.
muted.
I can hear her.
I can't
Oh.
hear her. Hold on, let me reload.
Yeah, you may have to reload.
I can hear you.
Now the question is, I haven't gone robot.
No.
Yeah,
not at
You
all.
have not.
No,
Okay.
not yet.
Alright. So reloading. Okay, what were you saying, Zizba?
Yeah, that's what I was unmuting to say. His nest is on top of one of the cabinets, but it just has like the books and stuff. His coins and things are on his necklace still.
Ah, yes. It has like a few books, a few scraps of paper, and a like little collection of empty potion bottles.
Cool. I'm gonna kind of set it farther side from that, but yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So that's done. Bottle of wine is probably on my person.
Okay.
Go ahead and pop that off the cork.
I like to think that Ferald and Rail are following you around, observing this.
Yeah, I'm just
I
kinda
was going to
waiting.
ask you something else when.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Rail, are you just mostly shadowing Faraday to make sure he doesn't do something stupid with his wife?
I mean, that is when you put it that way. Maybe I should.
Very appreciated.
All right.
Okay.
Ferald, what are you up to then?
I want to go to the labs.
All right.
The
There.
lab, like the one we have in house.
All right. The in-house arcane laboratory is a medium-sized room with several different benches, workstations, and shelves of reagents.
Okay. I just want to essentially see like what the setup was and like what can be done with what we have in here.
It looks like a very generic, if well-stocked, setup.
Does have the two things from the lab because I dropped them off.
Yeah, it does
So
have the orbs. 1 second.
Okay.
Hold on. Testing? Okay. Discord is reconnecting. Hi. Thank you for watching this latest episode of Technical Difficulties, where we struggle to keep our stream up and running with a computer. Alright, can y'all hear me? Can y'all see me?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Hear you.
Okay, I can't see
I can't
myself or
see you.
Zizva.
But okay, now I can.
Okay.
My question is it dark in my room? Like,
It's not
No.
showing
Looks too bad.
camera on
Okay.
yours.
Your light looks good to me.
Yeah, you're
Hmm.
like...
Should I just turn my camera
You know,
off?
that's fine.
I'll turn my camera off.
Okay. Try turning it off and back on.
because it just is weird. It's weird. It's like it's incredibly sunny, but it's like I'm getting no light today. Like,
I need
and
to...
I think it's mostly because the tree outside of my window has actually leaves on it right now. So
That's,
probably
yeah. My light
It's
burned
on,
out this morning.
it's on your side or just general connection speed. So
Yeah.
I
Okay.
can see your video
dropping out a
yeah,
little
but it can't on the stream.
Okay.
on the stream. Okay.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to turn my camera off in
Yeah.
solidarity.
All right.
Wow, that is really blue. Okay. Farrell, you were checking out the words lab.
Yep. So the two orbs in here, right? The two pods or whatever.
There's one that looks like it was hit with an axe, and then there's one that looks like it was hit with an axe a lot.
All right. Cool. Are there any tools in here?
Yeah, there's a
Whatsoever?
handful of mechanical tools.
All right. Well, what I want to do is I want to start bending the metal into place with a hammer or something. You know, just small tap it, make sure everything looks pretty even. Just to the point where if I can eventually go get a piece of sheet metal and weld that over top and try to repair these things.
Okay, it looks like there's some internal damage before you start sealing it up.
Okay, so I'm gonna look around in there. Should I roll to see what I notice?
Yeah, make an Arcana check for me, please.
Decently good at these. Let's see. That'll be in 18W. 28 total.
28 total. It looks like there is a hollow on the inside, roughly spherical in shape. Primarchs around the edge of this inside hollow give the impression that something was inside of it and then hacked open and pried out. The outer casing of that hollow seems to be a blend of Mysium and Mithril, with several induction ports of gold dispersed throughout it. The outer layer of it seems to be pure Mysium with a glass casing around the edge.
Okay. What can I tell? Like, what do I need to fix this?
Without knowing what was inside, it will be very difficult to restore it to its functionality.
Yes, I just want to overall just repair like the damage that was done, not to where everything was inside. Like, just like, how should I put it? Just to see what it had and like kind of just refix and resolder what we had.
Okay.
Also, like what I can see is broken.
Are you going to close it all the way back up?
No, I just want to see like, and I just a general idea of what I need to do to
Okay.
get that closed up.
With your 20 some odd roll, you have a general idea what you'll need to do to fully repair these is once the whatever was in the hollow is replaced, you'll need to weld several gold induction pins to it and then encase the whole thing in a Mysium Mithril shell. Then with the gold induction points connected to an outer layer of pure Mysium, you would need to coat the entire thing in a translucent, slightly green glass to restore it to its full functionality.
All right. Let me write all that down. But yeah. Also, I realized I have Smith's tools on me, so I didn't even need to ask for tools.
Never have enough tools.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's about all I want to do here. Just kind of look over the lab while, everyone else does their thing until everyone comes back.
It's fairly well stocked, if not a generic lab setup. There are artificing tools as well as spell and ritual designing tools, as well as a number of reagents and workstations, so multiple people can have different projects running at the same time. There's even an alchemical setup towards the back. If you're saying something, I can't hear you.
Still no.
I can hear you.
Hello.
You can hear me?
Now I can.
I
Hi.
can hear you. Yeah.
You can hear me now? No?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Noticeably, there is also an Izzet condenser coil.
Yes.
Oh, cool. What is that used for?
Generally, it is used to funnel residual magical energy into a distillate.
Huh. Alright, I've got a cool plan coming up. I'm gonna keep thinking about that. But yeah, I think I'm good if you want to go to someone else.
Alright, let's go with Griggum real quick.
All right.
I believe you spent the night at Mama Ket's,
Mhm.
and you are still at the outer edge of the Red Wastes. You going to be hanging out there for a little bit longer, or are you going to head back towards the...
I think I'll be hanging out for just a little bit longer before heading back. It's like,
Alrighty. Late evening. You've seen, like, the street has several goblins just kind of hanging out, a few human and even centaurs and other races blending in, sharing, like, kind of, it's almost like a block party kind of feeling. You got the firearm from the two goblins in the back. Mama Ket is in the main portion of the house. She has like a washcloth and a basin, and she is like giving each of the goblins, like goblin children, a scrub down. As you come out of the back room, she's like, "Everything all right?"
Yep, everything's good.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Fewer problems, the better. She's like working the rag to clean one of the kids inside of one of the kids' ears while the kid is chewing on like the basin. Basin? Yeah, basin.
Basin, yeah. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go for another walkabout. Like, I'll be back a little bit later.
Alright, it's getting dark, so stay a little safe, okay?
Will do.
Outside, there's a few performances going on by Rakdos that weren't out there before. Less of the acrobatics that you saw before, and more like there's a few telling jokes. There's a few like doing tricks with fire that is a lot more noticeable. A few are just simply like busking the crowd for the performers. Azorius are still at kind of like the street corners, keeping an eye on the Rakdos more than the rest of the population at this point. There is a no, it's too late at night for that. So yeah, that's really about all that you're seeing at this point. It's getting close to 5-ish, 6-ish.
Yeah, I think I more or less do a patrol of my own and just more or less do some random, like, you know, like get some mingling in, like share the bottle around a bit. It's like,
is there anyone you're looking to talk to, or anything you're looking to talk about?
no, it's like, but like not just overall gossip in general.
All right, make me
Like
an
I'm mostly here for a good time. If anything happens, that's
okay.
it happens.
Make me an investigation roll.
All right, it's like, let me just get up that modifier. Got a total of 20. It's like
20. There's not a lot of gossip going around. Most of the people in the area are just talking about like what they did today or what their plans are for tomorrow. A few of them do mention they are excited because in the morning a Selesnya group is going to be coming through doing checkups on people before heading out into the Red Waste as their monthly go out, check on the Gruul, tend to any serious injuries or maladies that are running rampant to ensure that, like, hey, if a plague starts out in the Red Waste, it doesn't carry on into the rest of the city. So it's a chance for a lot of the people here to, get a checkup, get some light healing, or, talk with someone that is from a different area.
Okay. I suppose, like, as part of this bumbling routine of mine, like, I'm going to purposely, like, stumble down, like, 2, maybe 3 darker alleys just in case, to make sure, like, nothing.
Make a performance roll for me.
Performance roll, you say? It's like,
yeah.
I actually am trained in that.
To see how well you act drunk.
Let's see. It's like, not 14. Sorry, 11.
11. You stumble down Who did we lose? We lost Tux. Got to fix the cameras. Okay. And, of course, as soon as I fix the cameras. Okay. You stumble down the alley. There is a black-scaled Vishino with a kind of a split lip that has a little blood trickling out of, like, the cut that, like, twists its head at you from the side of the building as you, like, emerge. And what?
Yeah, it's like, looks up and is like, oh, that's a nasty cut you got on you.
I've done worse.
Need some alcohol on that? On that one?
No, I'm good.
Oh, you're good. He's like, see you around. Try to
Kind of
probably
like
move past him.
he's actually like clinging to the side of the wall.
Mm.
Like he's face down towards you with like gecko. You can see the tips of his fingers are kind of like gecko-like pads.
Well, he's still going to try to like walk past as if nothing's wrong, or he doesn't believe that anything.
There is like a little skittering, not quite shuffling sound as like the Vishino seems to be following you, though staying to the wall.
Is he singing his own theme song? just full cronk.
He doesn't seem to be willing to leave the alleyway, though, once you get out of it.
Yeah, I kind of pause, look back at him, and he's like, what, don't want to join the party?
And he just, like, he watches you for a second, and he turns back and, like, scuttles up to the rooftop.
Now I'm curious. I was like, and I like to scuttle up there with him.
Do you have a climb speed? Oh wait, no, you're a monk. You can just move up vertical surfaces.
Yes, it's like something I'm slowly remembering I can do.
What's your movement speed?
Currently 50. I'm not
Yeah,
sure
you can-
how that will translate to
yeah.
going.
It's like a 40-foot building. Yeah, you can get up to the top of it in one movement. At the top of it, the Shino seems to be working on some kind of complicated antenna array of sorts. It has a single large dish at the top, maybe 1.5 feet across, that's pointed straight up. It has a number of little branches sticking off to the side with small little glowing bits at the tips of it as well. He turns back to his... as you climb up onto the roof.
Hang on a minute. Okay, so that's where the vertical surface is. Okay, yeah, I get you. Can you do me a favor?
Mm-hmm.
Can you remind me what this creature is supposed to look like?
Vishino are lizard folk. He has black scales. He has a split cut on his lower lip, and the tips of his fingers are kind of broad and padded like you would see on a gecko, as opposed to the normal fingertips that you see on most Vishino.
At which point, like, seeing all this, and you know, Grigum just kind of like cups his chin and sort of like, huh. Don't see too many of your kind messing about with these. I was like,
He looks
somehow part of the Ithit.
makes a long, drawn-out hissing sound at you, and pulls a dagger from his waist belt.
Grigum will sit down and open a bottle. I was like, care for a drink? He's like,
He kind of warily watches you for a second. He doesn't seem to want to be the aggressor, but he's not making any movement towards you either.
"Oh, fair enough." I was like, and I just start drinking, like leaving myself wide open to anything.
After a minute, he turns back and he resumes like making small adjustments to the branching metal that comes off from the central pole.
Is there any way to figure out what he's trying to do? He's like,
Make an Arcana check.
oh joy! He's like, I'm good at these. He's like, apparently I am. That's a 20. Natural.
While
Nice.
What's up? 0 modifier.
While you would normally not have any knowledge of this type of technology, you have some experience with it due to your friends. You recognize portions of this antenna-like device as being similar but larger versions of the mechanics on the Spy's Murmur that you wear. Make me a perception check.
Certainly. He's like, gladly. He's like, 26 with a natural 20.
Nice. Burn those up now. Because... Okay. While looking at that, you notice a slight crawling movement on your shoulder, like you had a beetle or something like that land on you. Turning to look at it, you see maybe a half-inch metallic creature with two kind of gem eyes and a kind of scuttling clockwork appearance to it.
Can I just, like, casually snatch it off of me? He's like,
Make a dexterity check, and I will roll its dexterity in response. Oh, okay.
like, how does a 21 do you? He's like,
That beats its 19, if just barely. So you snatch the little mechanical bug midair as it's about to take off.
aren't you a curious little fella? I was like,
The Vishino looks up from his work and looks over at you.
oh, sorry, is this something important to you? And I just kind of shake it a little bit in front of it.
He seems to be like getting dizzy as you shake it.
I see. Like, so that device like connects you to this little fella, huh? Like, I wonder what you're looking for. Not going to talk to me then?
He pulls out a small little scrap of paper and kind of half flings it across the space between y'all.
I casually let go. Like, and
It immediately buzzes
like,
away.
Stumbles like over to the stumbles over to the scrap, pick it up and look at it.
All right, make a wisdom saving throw for me, please.
Hey! Like, I'm trained now. How does a 15 do you?
Just barely beat it. That was what you needed.
That was probably one among the lowest rolls I made today.
There is an emblem on the paper that looks like a spider with bladed legs and a singular eye upon its abdomen. You recognize this symbol from a few different encounters, most notably within the Coin Keep. As you open the paper and look at it, there is a flash of purple lighting your eyes.
And like, for my assumption, this is meant to hide things with an illusion, right? Like,
Generally, that was what those things did the previous times y'all have encountered them.
right. Like, but not a mind wipe. Like,
No.
like, could I effectively tell what it was supposed to do? Like,
I'll let you make an Arcana check. Actually, no, a history.
history. Okay.
Yeah.
18.
The previous times you've encountered these glyphs, they would make it so an exit did not appear to be where they were located. Like they would cover them with an illusionary wall.
Okay, so I'm going to have to suspect that this was meant to make him look as though he disappeared. So I'm going to play at being like, huh. He's gone. No, oh well, and just claim this spot as a drinking spot kind of thing. It's like,
The figure watches you for a good 3 minutes, and he moves oddly for a Vishino. Like, normally you see Vishino, they're very, like, twitchy of sorts. Like, they don't sit still well. This one just is stock still watching you before it eventually turns back and makes, like, 3 final adjustments before scuttling down the side of the wall.
can I shadow him for a bit?
Make a stealth roll for me.
Certainly will. Wouldn't you know it? 24 with a natural 20.
You
Dice are nice tonight.
Yeah.
Today, whatever.
You go to the edge of the building and just kind of like drop down silently behind him. You can see him, he's crossing the street and starting up towards the roof of another building a block away as he like veers through alleyways and stuff. Following him up to the top of that building, you see him starting to work on a similar structure of sorts.
I'm going to keep myself hidden and be on the watch for any like, bugs that might come up on me, like, and try to stay out of their sight.
Make a perception check for me.
Alright. 6 and 6 is 18, right?
6 and 6 is 12.
Oh,
12, right? Okay, so 22.
Alright. You do see a
Oh, wow.
few of the buzzing little drones now that you know what to watch for, but none of them seem to pay you any mind.
I'm just hoping that he doesn't recognize that I'm following him or anything like that. Unless he's just trying to stay out of sight.
He spends about 10 minutes working on the device, making micro adjustments to it, before moving on to another 3 blocks away.
I'm still shadowing him.
Alright, make another stealth check. As you're moving in and out of shadows and alleyways to follow him.
Ooh, 8.
8. You feel like a little pressure on your shoulder for a second, and then like a sharp bite, like an insect bit the side of your neck.
And I'm going to make a pratfall. It's like, more or less. It's like,
All right. Make an acrobatics check for me.
okay. That was a cocked die. It was between 2 and a 20. I didn't want to make a call on that.
Yeah, go ahead and re-roll.
You're rolling. So 23.
23.
Acrobatics.
All right. You kind of like pratfall roll in such a way as it doesn't hurt you. As you kind of like look up, a human, maybe medium sized with auburn hair and dark gray eyes, is standing in front of you looking down at you. He wears a leather breastplate and he has a dagger on his hip with the razor spider emblem that you had seen previously worked into the crossguard. Hello, Gregum. You recognize this as Asham Bokai. This is the first time you've seen him out of the postal center, though. So, please leave my agent alone. He has much work to do tonight.
Oh, hey. He's like, how you doing?
We are
Playing up that he's probably drunk. I was like,
we are keeping track of many things, Gregum. And making sure that people are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Or not doing, or doing what they're not supposed to be doing. Or, if they're being very, very good, doing what they're supposed to be.
yeah.
He kind of
That's good.
smiles and crouches down. You remember your request, right? Not the one from with him. About what we may know about her.
I think you broke up a little bit. He's like,
You remember your request, right? Not the one with him, but with what we know about her.
oh.
She is in a place
Remind
with
me?
3 waterfalls. From what I understand, you have a map. That map will not help you. You're looking below ground when you need to be looking above.
Oh. I'll have to meditate on that. That's some deep wisdom.
We want her as badly as you do. She has betrayed many people. Now, you're going to wake up because that was just a small dose. Don't sleep in the alleyway. And then you kind of start awake in the alley.
Now, here's a question. Wasn't that poison?
Was it? Was it a sleep spell?
Say that again?
It could have been poison, it could have been a sleep spell, it could have been any number of things.
Well, because I'm asking because I have a number of immunities right now.
Yeah, you have immunity
That
to
was mostly
poison.
trying to... Yeah. It's like, and disease. It's like,
Yeah.
and I do have methods of getting rid of charm and fear. It's like,
Yeah. Sleep
So-
isn't charm or fear.
I know that much. It's like, but I figure there had to have been something like I am high on resistances right now.
Yeah,
Is what I'm at saying.
it was a very high level sleep spell.
Okay, fair enough. Because I honestly wanted to make again. It's like trying to play the fool.
No
is the
worries.
thing. But it looks like I've been made a fool of, it's like, which is just as good. It's like just not in the right direction I want it to be.
So you awaken in like an alley, maybe 6 blocks from where you first encountered the Viashino.
Try to have some fun, you know? I was like, oh well, like, guess I better head back home. I was like,
Alright.
and I make my way back to Mama Cat.
It's been like a couple hours. It's like nighttime now. She has successfully gotten the kids washed and wrangled upstairs. She is down in the kitchen pouring a shot for herself. The 2 goblins that have been helping her throughout the evening are sitting there drinking their own, like, mixed drink. She looks up and is like, hey, I had to go.
Very well. Very well, in fact.
You found
So how'd it
wisdom
go for
in the
you?
street?
I found a few things in the street, certainly.
Well enough. Little ones tend to bite if they don't want the bath, but ain't nothing new there. You gonna be spending another night here, or you gonna be heading back wherever you've been hanging out past?
Trying to think. I am I well rested at this point?
Yeah, you took like a nap earlier.
As well as been forced sleep, so.
Yeah.
You know, like, maybe I should start heading back.
Well, don't be a stranger. Come on back whenever you need.
That said, I should thank you for your hospitality.
Ain't no need to thank me, hun. You're always welcome to this house, just like every other one of y'all.
Yeah, well, look, I haven't done much to repay you yet. So, and he takes a look at his stuff and sets it next to a wall. I was like, you can keep it. I was
You okay?
you can do whatever you want. And if you need to sell it for money, go ahead and do it. And like, if someone decides to follow in my footsteps, you can hand it off to them. And like, very well. Like,
Huh?
they will make something of themselves. Like,
She looks at.
but
It's a nice looking staff. You sure?
yeah, I'm beginning to think I never really needed it.
Huh. Alrighty. Well, then, if you ever need it back, we'll hold on to it back for you here. Okay?
I would expect nothing less.
You stay safe walking those streets at night.
I will. He's like, thank you. And he bows and starts heading his way out. And part of him did want to maybe meet with the Selesnya that were passing through, but he's been plenty enough away from his crew right now. Like, they probably don't need him. He's like, but he sure as heck wants to be back with them at this point.
Alright.
He did discover a few things, and it's about time he actually starts making his way back.
So we're a little bit away from break. Let's go ahead and get started on Ingrid's, and then we'll pick up on with
I'd
hers.
honestly prefer we didn't, because Ferdier tends to interrupt things and ask if we can take a break. And also, you're not even getting my camera feed right now. So if we do a break, we can reload and work on setting.
Alright, let's go ahead and take a break. Try and be back here about 105, 110 at the worst. If you're on Eastern Time, we'll be back as soon as possible. Thank y'all for joining us for this episode of the bonus roll. Hope y'all have been enjoying the game as much as I have.
Heck yeah, be back in a bit.
We have audio. We are live. We're back. Hello. Welcome to Second Sight Agency Campaign Part 2, Episode 46? Yeah, 46. So
More.
Just we're
Success.
episode 46 in general.
no, I'm
I
fairly
don't-
sure this is episode 46. 45 was last week.
We're for episode
Okay.
46 in general. I just don't know if we're part 2 is at episode 40 kind of.
Oh, it cut off, so it said we're at episode 6.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe a bit more than that.
Like Second Sight Agency Part 2, Episode 6 is like what was audible.
Well, I'm not audible. Seriously,
No,
though,
that is
Amazon,
another
give
group
us
that
money.
you want to. Yeah, that is another group that you can hear like audiobooks from. It's like,
We are on Google Podcasts. I really need to get back to uploading the audios.
Yeah.
I was checking something and I forgot what I was checking. Let's see here. I have that open. I'm going to need that. Have that. I need that. I ran that ad. We have everyone there. Have everything there. All right. So, just a heads up, we may be calling the game slightly early today. I'm not 100% sure. We'll find out. Oh, right. That's what I was checking.
All right.
So,
Picture just have a couch that might be arriving. They might be called.
that I only
Yeah.
prepped so much every week, and some of what I prepped wasn't used, and some of what I prepped was burned through really, really fast. So, of note, I didn't point this out, but next week is our 1 year anniversary.
ooh,
I will be doing a special
got far.
Tuesday afternoon stream where it's going to be me and whoever wants to show up, just kind of talking about our experience of running this for a year. There's no pressure. This is entirely voluntary if y'all guys want to show up. If not, if that's fine. If y'all just want to pop in and say hi on chat, I'd appreciate that. But I just wanted to give y'all a heads up that I'm going to be doing that around 2 or 3 in the afternoon on Tuesday.
The 16th, right?
Yep, on my birthday. Yeah, you're welcome to... okay.
Birthday.
Yeah, you're welcome to pop in and on the chat, Equilibrium. Alright, so,
I mean, we
you got a pretty dedicated follower for it. Yeah.
what did you say, Zizwa?
we could dial him maybe.
That's fine with me. I mean, whatever.
If
this
he's
is-
up for it.
This is a very loose me just talking to the world and hoping someone listens. Anyway, I believe we left off with Ingrid having a lunchtime picnic with Rathin out near the Old Well. Yes? Or Old Fountain. Sorry, not Old Well. That is an entirely different location.
I wasn't sure if it was supposed to be lunch or supposed to be dinner because he was like,
It was mid-evening.
to his, yeah, it was like, asking if I talk with his mother tonight, so I wasn't sure
Yeah, it was about
timetable.
3 o'clock-ish. So it's a super
He
late
basi-
lunch, a super early dinner.
So then, since we're going to talk to her anyway,
Hmm?
do you like your official consort gift? If I understand right, can do one of those activities before I discuss with your mother?
You can do
Unless you
whatever-
think that's cautious enough.
You can do whatever you like, Miss Ingrid.
And she digs in the side satchel and gets out the little box that has the pins in it. They are one citrine and one ruby, and they have the detailing from like the whip handle around the side with gold to match the armor.
Oh my, this is quite...
These are
These are quite lovely.
These are communication stones. I noticed at the party you and your brother were very busy and didn't seem to get to see each other very much. I thought, I have more freedom to come visit you, but I thought perhaps this would help a bit. And she kind of pushes him over.
He kind of smiles and takes them in hand, looking them over and says, "These are exquisite." And
If you do accept them, I'd prefer if you keep the ruby one.
Most certainly, I'll be glad to. It may take a little bit of time for me to get the other one to my brother, unless you want to take it to him yourself.
Let's see how that goes later.
So he kind of nods and finishes like his meal. He takes the chain and puts it around his neck. So you make the tuning fork look. This is extravagant.
They're pins.
Pin, yeah. Sorry, he sets the pin. Sorry, on his cloak.
Oh.
Not sure.
If they ever don't match or you need to be more elusive with them, they do work in your pocket too.
That is...
Figure, strategic benefit. If something happened, you'd be able to get in contact.
He nods, but so it's very well made. And I thought
Aurel did help with the Aurel did help with the design early on. He stood there for a couple days casting guidance and tapping us on the shoulder.
That is fair enough. My brother helped a good deal with the fork.
So should we ride right back there? Are you off for the day?
I do not have any immediate duties that I have to attend to, but whatever you wish to do, Miss Ingrid.
Well, I suppose it's a good time as any, as long as she's not busy, right?
She is always busy, but there's never a better time. He kind of
Ingrid will saddle Coco up.
Yeah, he'll stand and he'll start packing up the stuff. He looks very leerily at the Dromid, but he doesn't really hesitate to get on it. He clearly doesn't trust them, but he's willing to ride them.
That one's Jiminy. Maybe it'll...
Yes.
Hey.
There, you told me to take it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So it takes like
Yes, riding back.
maybe 30 minutes to ride back to the town. The gates are in the process of getting closed due to the early evening, but they have not been sealed yet. The guards hold them open for y'all as y'all approach. They both wave to you and nod.
I'll stop by and put the Dromids back again.
Let's see. Any detours or anything like that other than dropping off the Dromids?
No, I think that's it.
Alright. After y'all drop off the Dromids, you make your way to the northern portion of the Farkeep. There is a large number of undead just kind of milling around at the front of the house. With Jorgal, the very elongated and emaciated looking erstwhile standing at the porch. You are awaited.
So, did Rithen come with me?
Rithen is with you.
So, since I think he said you're awaited,
Mm-hmm.
I cut out a bit.
Yeah, Drogal said, "You are awaited."
She'll nod to him and head in.
All right. The inside of the building is much as you remember it. It's not as fancily decorated now. It's more the day-to-day like you saw it the first time, with a few portraits and some trophy artifacts set out. Drogal gestures down the right-hand hallway towards the little library where y'all had met her previously. So she will be with you shortly. Then kind of nods and holds the door for Ingrid. Inside the room, the table in the center holds one of those large black gems that y'all have seen previously. It looks almost raw. It doesn't look like it's been shaped or carved very much, if at all. The bookcases.
Ingrid drops her semblance of fake breathing that she was using throughout the town to not alarm anyone. It just goes back to breathing when she needs to talk.
The thing kind of like blinks
Nice touch.
and watches for a moment.
He gives his hand a slight squeeze and then just goes back.
He squeezes back. Then he moves and holds out a chair for her before he sits himself down. And it's quiet for a good 5 minutes. After about 5 minutes, the door opens and a young, almost waifish looking Devkarin comes in. Her hair is done back in a very tight braid with a number of mycelium mushrooms woven into it. She wears a very elegant, if simple and unadorned, black dress with a silver trimming, and a necklace around her throat has a empty socket on it. She looks to y'all as she enters the room, picks up the stone from the table, and sets it into place. She takes a deep breath, blinks her eyes, and looks at the two of you. I see. Huh. And you would do this against my will, if it was against my will?
Oh, yeah. Came to ask. Don't want to steal him. I want to be part of your family with him.
I see. And you would take him from here?
Hardly think he'd enjoy the sunlight up at the agency.
She looks over at Rithen. Friend, you have made this choice before with other humans. It's like, she is not like other humans. It's like, that is clear. She looks to Ingrid. It's like, one moment. She goes over to the bookshelf and lifts a book off of it, opens it, and withdraws a very thin-looking stoppered vial from it with a flat bottom. The liquid inside is red and bubbles effervescently. He will far outlast you, you know.
Possibly. I've at least got a bit of a running start versus other humans. Matron being a necromancer herself, I've gotten a bit of her extension.
We have heard of Valora. Of Omorona. Will you be taking him there?
I would like him to meet her.
But he will be coming back?
Would think so. There's 2 weapon masters there already, and he has his duties here.
She holds the potion up to the light and sets it down on the table in front of Ingrid. I will give you my blessing if you survive drinking this. And then she takes her finger off of the top of the vial.
I suppose I am a bit hardier than most. And she squeezes Rathen's hand and takes it.
Then it's like, you don't have to if you... You don't have to do anything for me, Miss Ingrid. She takes it or she drinks it?
Oh, I meant she just drinks it. She's a little impulsive.
Okay. Make... let's see here. You take... 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You take 10 poison damage.
Okay.
Make a Constitution saving throw.
Should have possibly put my armor on first, but... Okay, Constitution saving throw. It's a magical effect, so that's advantage?
It's a poison.
Okay, so regular. Okay. Only a 13.
That's what you needed.
Okay.
Okay, so you're not poisoned. So you do not take the subsequent damage. If you had failed that, you would have been taking 3d6 additional poison damage every turn. And
That would have been bad.
making a Constitution saving throw at the end of those turns. Each Constitution saving throw that you succeeded would have reduced that damage by 1d6. So the next turn you would have been taking 2d6 if you had succeeded, or 3d6 if you had failed, and then the turn after that 1d6 if you had succeeded, or 2d6, and so on and so forth until the number hits 0. Until one of the numbers, either the damage or your HP, hits 0. She kind of... Well, you are hardier than most. Very well then. She stands and moves back over to the bookshelf. She touches a book on the shelves and pulls it slightly. There is a hiss as the panel slides open, revealing a stairway down. If you are to be in the family, you are to be in the family. And then she starts down the stairs.
I'll look over at Rathen and then follow Leia.
Rathen will stand and follow as well.
Does this mean I can go to calling you Leia now?
She stops and looks over her shoulder. You notice that the stairway, the walls are made of that same black gemstone. She leads you down a good maybe 2 stories below ground level to a large open space with a massive circle etched into the stone, filling almost every square inch of this area. Within the center of it is a large malformed shape. It has the head of a wolf, but the body of a man with 2 large clawed arms from the shoulders and then a smaller pair of clawed hands from the chest. The legs are bent forward and back like a dog's walking on its hind legs. The skin is pallid, pale with black tufts of hair sprouting from the head like a shaggy mane and down the back, across the arms and across the, as you examine it, feminine chest. Leia looks to the figure in the center. My daughter. Before she turns and walks to a setup of stone and metalworking. Oh, you cut off. Your video's gone. Hold on. Zizva, can you hear me?
I can still hear you.
Okay, sorry, your video cut out and you weren't, and then I was worried that you couldn't hear me. She goes over to a table with a number of tools for working stone and metal, and it's basically a jewelry kit set, a jeweler's kit set up on a table, but with a larger scale. She holds out a hand and whispers a few arcane words. There is a kind of wrenching sensation throughout the chamber. The figure in the center howls almost like she's in pain. And then a sizable chunk of that black gemstone not so much materializes as it was not there, and then it just comes into existence within Leia's grasp. She turns to the jewelry making setup and starts working the stone. This stone, have you been to other places?
In the foundry that I mentioned, there was a portal to Dead Dragon that we met?
You have seen the space between spaces then, yes?
Yes.
This is from there. She carefully starts working the stone, and you see her working at a pace that does not match the amount of work that's being done. What looks like a single action results in 3 or 4 different facets of the stone being carved away. Like, the stone itself is warping and rushing the process of being refined. So, it is a channel that carries the light and the dark of this world. It is what fills the spaces between. Not all of the spaces between, but much of the spaces between. It is, and after just a few words, she sets down the tool and holds up what looks like a teardrop carved of the black gemstone, and holds it out to Ingrid. It channels the darkness and it channels the light. What you put into it grows stronger. I have filled the underside of this city with this metal, with this gem. And through it I see, through every eye, every undead's eyes, and I hear through their ears. From the largest to the smallest. And then she reaches over and she plucks a small black beetle from hidden at the nape of Rathin's neck. This is the secret of my family. This is our power. If you betray me about this, you betray him. Rathin looks both kind of confused, but also like he's looking at the figure in the center of the room. But he is, like, putting a hand on Ingrid's shoulder.
Is she okay?
She is one of the tryst between me and Rakdos. We do odd things to seek power, and to seek power for our children. In time when you have your own, you will know what I mean. There will be no lengths you will go to not provide them the strength and the stability to ensure their success in this world. Now it is late and you have much traveling to do, I assume.
I should probably check in with Valora.
You will send my son back to me when you are finished with your mother, yes?
I should probably ride back with him if he's not used to trains.
That is fine. Now go. And take this with you. And she hands you the stone.
Ingrid will take the stone.
Alright, add black aetherstone to your inventory.
Sorry about that. I was like,
No worries.
Gotta say, somehow I don't think that I had to go through the same process to get my wife.
You don't
I
remember.
was gonna.
I don't quite remember, but somehow
Yeah.
I think it was a somewhat
Like-
more abbreviated process.
Like for me, I was thinking, did you ever join a cult? And I was like, you know what? That's probably all of us when we joined a guild.
Yeah.
It's not quite a cult.
I mean, what do you think the Pledge
Somewhat.
of Allegiance is that we have to say every morning in school?
I think I remember my Boy Scout stuff better than I remember the Pledge of Allegiance now.
So, back up the winding stairways to the library. The potion bottle is gone from the table. Jorgal is standing at the doorway. So, ma'am.
Would you go ahead and accompany me there, then? I think that would, That's honestly what I was thinking of asking, if you would come meet her.
He kind of takes your hands and is like, I would like that very much, Ingrid.
Ah, he dropped the miss.
Progress.
I assume we will have to ride your mounts.
We could, ride them to the train station and try you with the train. Have you been on one before?
No.
They tend... The the ones that span different precincts don't go quite as fast, but you may go unconscious if we take the train.
I think I would prefer the Dromids, if it is not an imposition.
I think that would be good.
Alright, so on the Dromids, it's going to take you roughly 3 hours, I believe, to get there.
There's going to be a lot of Dromid riding. It's going to come back very late and then need to rest during the day.
Alright, are you stopping at any particular location in Roma? Or are you just making straight for the manor?
Usually head straight for the Grove, and then I send Watcher up first.
Alright.
So I'll probably do that.
Getting things open because wasn't sure how far we were going to get. Okay.
You did not say I could call her Leia.
She did not. About
Baby
3
stuff.
hours.
We can assume that silence means yes.
Yeah.
It's true. She didn't say no.
No, we can't.
About 3 hours of riding the dramas later, you arrive in the city of Roma. You go to your normal waiting location and send Watcher on ahead. It seems to be the first time Rithin has been outside of Farkeep in a serious manner. He's looking around very like, I've never seen this before. This is new. With a half kind of taking it in, observing, but not necessarily trustful look on his face.
The Grove is very unusual for Undercities. I don't know of another city that has it.
So
Seems to be specific to Valora.
I do not know much of many of these cities, so that is a fair... And he kind of stops and looks up. A sickly-looking dryad emerges from the tunnel, wisps kind of curling around her. Watcher is on her shoulder. Is that Ingrid?
Hi.
This little one found me. Your mother is not here right now. She is in the Shadowmonts. If you want to go there, you can meet with her.
Yeah, I think if she has the time to spare, it would be very good if she can come out for a meeting for a bit.
I believe she's working on something. She can entertain visitors. If you want to visit her there.
I'll go in and ask her. I guess we'll head up to the house then.
Certainly. And she will... I mean, you can use the key wherever you wish, and she will accompany y'all back to the manor.
Well, it does help to have a door, doesn't it?
Yes.
Is Zeb around?
Zep is actually standing at the porch because Watcher had to go. Watcher relays this to you. Watcher couldn't find Valora, found Zep, who then went and got Boneth.
Then, this is Zeb, our weapons master.
He kind of looks the crawl up and down and inclines his head. An honor? And Zep responds in kind. Your weapon master is very unique, I think. Unless he is not. I do not know.
Our city has a significant population here.
I see.
About a third of its citizens.
We've had a few visit periodically. So we were going to a Mons?
Yes, well, let's get it in the actual mansion first. We'll find a door. I'll go check with her. See if Tears is around. Maybe you can meet him too. Have some conversation while I check with her.
Alright. Tears you almost always find within either the kitchen or the larder. Which is the case
I'll look
now.
for him first.
He's in the kitchen. He's doing like some late night baking of this kind of bluish bread made from a powdered and sifted mushroom.
There's
Yes,
a
and
company.
oh, hello. I see. Welcome to.
It's just... Right then, I have permission to ask him for being a consort.
He kind of leans forward and bumps his forehead against yours and so. Congratulations, little sister.
To go, find Flora. Hate to, just leave him without company if you have a moment to spare.
Certainly, and he gestures towards the larder door. I believe she said that she was working on that marking that y'all left her.
So, what school of magic was that? Because I know the doors have.
Huh? Oh, divination. You would assume.
I'm gonna wave at Rithin and say that I'm gonna go. So I'm gonna go see if he's willing to have company right there right now. I'll be right back.
All right. You insert the key, and this sort of dark light pours out from around the edges of the doorway. As you open it, a thin mist kind of drifts out of the hallway of doors. You see about halfway down on the right side the door that had the divination mark on it that you had copied the spell out of previously is open, and a soft glowing green light is emanating.
As I start to get close, so I don't startle her, I'll call out, Laura.
There is like a pause, and the light flickers for a moment before Valora comes to the doorway. She's wearing much as she normally does, like a simple robe set that is clearly designed for being worked in as opposed to being a fancy dress, though it is very elegant and cut to her form. She's like, "Oh, my dear, I did not expect to see you quite so soon."
No, things progress strangely fast. I actually brought Rithin with me if you'd like to meet him.
Oh, most certainly, yes. She, like, one moment, and she goes into the door and goes into the room, and the green light shuts off, flickers off. She closes the door as she comes out. And he's like, yes,
Oh, if I'd get another chance to bring him by. Not sure tells you anything about the meeting you had.
No, I've been...
Could it be a thing that's kept fairly discreet?
Of course. Okay. I do not know what, she, like, stops. Oh. Oh my. That is adventurous of her. Okay, well, that certainly explains the hair. And she kind of follows you out of the manse into the larder, or out into the kitchen. It's like she looks to the things like, well, I have good news for you. I am not going to make you drink poison.
Ingrid giggles a little bit.
She kind of reaches over and, like, puts 2 fingers under Ingrid's chin, lifts her head up a little, and leans forward and kisses your forehead. He's like, if he makes you happy, if he makes you unhappy, let me know.
Give her a hug.
She smiles and hugs back. And then she turns to Earthen and she extends a hand. Valura Omorona, Trisporn daughter of Ilivik, erstwhile shaman of the Golgari. And he kind of like takes the hand and kisses the back of her hand. He's like, Earthen Farkeeper, weapon master of Farkeep. An honor and a pleasure. And she nods, saying, he is a very polite young man, at least. Try not to break him too soon.
It's very, very cagey, too. We do still need to figure out if the gift and such were official.
He
She
kind
looks
of
over at Rathan.
like comes up to her and leans forward and gives Ingrid a very soft kiss. And when she doesn't stop him, after a second, he breaks the kiss and it feels like, I feel like they were quite official, Ingrid. If you do not disagree.
No, I don't.
Oh, then. It is quite late. I have had a long day, and we have much traveling to do. I do not think Leia would be particularly pleased about being missing for too much longer. Could I perhaps offer to escort you somewhere?
Are we riding back to Farkeep?
I think that would be a wonderful trip. Let us go. And then 3 hours later, it's almost midnight by the time y'all get to Farkeep.
Yeah, I know. I believe that was my request. You going there?
Mm-hmm. And I think I've made a request too. It's funny, our requests were almost the same.
Well, I wanted her to be able to meet you.
I had a similar desire.
I will confess a vulnerability. My own magic and powers are tied exclusively to her. So.
Huh. You radiate far more brightly than she does for someone who has tied her powers to someone else. But nonetheless, Ingrid, it is late. I am sure you are as tired as I am.
As happy I'll get to take the train back.
I look forward to you visiting. Let me know when you are going to, so I can arrange for us to have quarters in the mansion ready.
Without the mail here, I don't really have a good way to warn you ahead of time.
He kind of pulls the citrine out. It's like, You can hold on to this until you see my brother.
I'll take it by, and maybe I'll get some time to work on extra ones for us.
I think that would be quite pleasant. Stay safe, Ingrid. I look forward to seeing you. And he'll go back to the barracks for the night. On the train trip home, you receive a sending. My dearest Ingrid, I count
It's
the
cutting out again.
My dearest Ingrid, I count the days until I can see you again. You have made me very happy, and I am clearly very lucky. And that's it. So,
I think the first part of her response kind of sounds like a squee.
alright. So, Gregum would probably be arriving around midnight. Ingrid would probably arrive slightly after 1. Fairdeer, what was your plans with the rose and the wine?
Hands?
Huh?
Okay. And I had ideas. They're all out the window now. Kind of winging it at the moment.
After about maybe 5 minutes, Arissa arrives in the kitchen. In general, not like, heavy duty work clothes, but clothes that are serviceable for, like, I'm going to be standing near hot objects and don't want to burn my skin. She sees Dalger and is like, I'll take over from here. And Dalger's like, oh, okay, sure, whatever. For, like, she grabs one of the pans and just, like, wings it over onto the table with some of the other workers on it. And, like, heads out. Arissa then starts, like, just getting out some raw vegetables, some plant matter, and starting to make just a very basic, if not homey, meal. She hums a light little song to herself as she works.
Yeah, not quite the way I was picturing it in my head, but I kind of feel like this is something she wants to do. I guess I'll just try to assist where possible.
She seems to have it mostly in hand, but she recognizes that you're wanting to help, and so she sends you to do things like get pinches of salt and pepper and herbs, and to, like, stir something while she preps something else. It takes about maybe 40 minutes of concentrated effort before she finishes the meal. Just a simple kind of dish with a thick, rich, spicy sauce, in which several vegetables have been simmered to the point that they're soft, with just like a side of this lightly spiced wine. She sets out the table and says, there you go. Is that okay?
So did she make it for like everybody or just...
She made 3 servings.
I'm assuming the kitchen is not like... Correct.
You cut out.
The kitchen like still has people in it.
Yeah, they're off on their own table, and they seem to be mostly ignoring y'all.
Okay. 40 minutes. Okay, I take the wine. Blanking. Yeah. Okay. So, take the wine that's been corked for about 40 minutes. So, uncorked rather. So, hey, I'm assuming I know where the wine glasses are.
Yeah.
Just for some wine. Yeah, so I guess just kind of get like to a table to kind of ourselves. Such a thing exists.
She gives a bowl of the vegetables and sauce to Rail, as well as a cup of the spiced wine she made, and points to one of the nearby tables before sitting down with Faradir.
Is Rail joining us at the table?
No, I don't think so, but he did say that he was kind of hanging around.
Yeah. He's chilling out in the background with his book.
Yeah, he got given a
The
bowl of
spies
soup.
murmur in. He's gonna be wingman.
He got given a bowl of sauce, vegetables, and spiced wine, and pointed towards a table in the corner.
There's having romance, and Rail's reading a romance book.
I can take a hint.
She kind of sits down with her own bowl, blows on the sauce a little, and just has a spoonful of it.
I just guess just trying to get to know you better.
So, well, I mean, this is so odd because you know me so well already, or you should. What do you want to know, Eldrin?
How did we first meet?
I was working as a paralegal for your father. You came to visit and kind of followed me around for most of the day. When I went on lunch, you came with me, and we had a nice little meal of, baked bread, cheese, meat.
What a character. I'm so glad that the awkwardness of Faradir was not due to memory loss. He's just always been that way. That's awesome. Yeah, that definitely sounds like me. So, what about you? Do you have family?
I have my mother and my sister. Both live in the 3rd precinct.
What about them?
I mean, they're members of the Enclave. They are slightly more militaristic than you would think members of the Enclave would be, but they're still good people. They just want to protect their community.
Yeah, I definitely can respect that. So, how long did I ask you before you finally went out with me?
Oh, you never asked me. I just kind of, invited you along with a few of my friends one night, and then we kind of just kept doing that without the friends.
Fair enough. How long was it between when I asked you to marry me and you did?
It was about a year after we first met.
Okay. And stuff.
I mean, I enjoyed it. And she takes a sip of the wines. This is a very good wine. I hope you didn't spend too
You
much
like
on
it?
It tastes
Nah,
expensive.
Oh, I didn't want to get cheap tasting wine. So you like the flavor?
It is okay. I'm not a I generally prefer to cook with wine, but it is very tasty.
Good. Hmm. Oh, sorry, I'm blinking so hard.
It's okay, Eldrin. You don't have to impress me. I wouldn't
Yeah.
have gone through everything that I did if I didn't want to be back by your side.
Yeah, I get that.
I just needed a little time
And-
to come to terms with. I thought for the longest time you were dead.
How long? How long were you doing me?
It
After-
was. You disappeared about 40 years ago.
4 years ago.
Yeah, almost. I met you 5 years ago. We got married, maybe 6 months after we were married. I had the accident. You took out a loan from the debt priest, but we couldn't make the payments, and so.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so out of character, I'm just trying to line up the results. So I think at session 0, I want to say it was 2 years of memory.
You have 2 years of memory.
So does that add up, or is there like...
There is at least a year gap between when you disappeared and your memory kicks in.
Okay. That's what I was trying. Yeah, gonna definitely make a mental. Cool. Yeah, I want to do a little investigation about how that all
I mean,
happened.
the
But
last time I saw you,
that's-
the Orzhov were taking you away.
yeah, I guess that tends to happen. Well, I mean, making money here, so hopefully you don't have to worry about that ever happening again. So,
Just over the spy's murmur. Come on, relax. It's all good.
look, I know this is strange, but I just want to just get it out there.
Okay.
I don't know how I feel about you right now in terms of relationship.
I mean,
I want to make sure that
I did break your ankle. I can understand that.
unrelated to that. Just want to make sure that you understand you are important. I don't know how to define, what I feel about you, but I want you to understand that you are important to me. Your feelings are important. Your safety and well-being.
Thank you, Ellen.
Sort of, put
I appreciate
hands
that.
like kind of on top of hers in a little squeeze.
She kind of like turns her hand over and squeezes back. It's like, I am going to get some rest after I finish eating. I hope you don't mind, but I know I haven't done much, but it has been a bit of a tiring day.
And I understand. If there's anything, you need, just let me.
I will be sure to do that, or I will let Cathal know. And she kind of like finishes up her meal. She collects the dirty dishes off of anyone else's who's finished. Gives
Take over the.
Go ahead.
I'll take over the dishes at least.
She will kind of give Faradir's shoulder a squeeze and pat Kay as she heads back towards her room.
Yay, everything.
And
Maybe it wasn't so bad.
Yeah. Definitely could have been worse.
It'll be alright.
I didn't have to get
Used to the dog.
poisoned. Didn't have to get poisoned to prove my love. Did have to get my ankles broken, but yeah.
Water under the bridge.
Semantics.
Cultural differences.
Exactly.
Come on.
Want some
I
of
don't
this?
think we're going
Hold
anywhere
up.
today. But I could use
I
some
didn't
help
give
with
her the
some
flowers.
research. Well, leave them by
Oh.
her room.
Yeah.
I think she'll get the idea.
I hold up the wine to Rail, like, do you want some of this?
I could use some, but not right now. We still have, well, what time of day is it at this point?
it's like 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Probably
Well,
too late to start researching.
Gringham will probably be arriving in the next hour, and Ingrid the hour after that.
You know what? Well, Faraday, up for helping me with some research until we're all back here together, and then calling it a night.
Yeah, sounds good.
Alright.
Good.
Definitely up for sharing that wine. It can't hurt.
Yeah.
Alright. We're probably going to be wrapping a little early because Isva and I have a small thing to deal with pretty soon. In like the next 40-ish minutes. So, real quick, what are y'all going to be working on researching before y'all pass out in a drunken stupor?
Will it
Rael
be
wanted
in the
to
lab?
research that black pudding, finally.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
So, I have a question. Did you put a lid on that black pudding?
Yes!
Did you put
It's
holes
like
in that
it's
lid?
a jar thing. That would probably have been a no.
So now we're doing an autopsy.
Well, I mean, it didn't give any indications of being alive.
Certainly not now.
Okay, but like, if it was moving, presumably Rail would have noticed.
I mean, it filled up that jar.
Did it
guess
have a
depends-
rubber seal?
Okay.
Because if it didn't, it might have
Yeah,
gotten
so-
there.
So Rail is well trained, I would think, in biological research
Yeah.
and thaumaturgical research.
Uh-huh.
When we collected that black slime, he wasn't exhausted yet. He was fairly sharp.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
guess he would have followed standard procedures as far as containing it goes. I'm basically relying on Rail to be smarter than Rail's player for this. So I don't know. Would a former Simic researcher have thought to put air holes, or would a specimen jar have some kind of some kind of accommodations for living specimens?
I think a specimen jar probably would have become.
Okay, so here's the thing. A black pudding is technically alive. It is a large ooze, but this is a small one that has been trapped in an enclosed environment for quite a while.
Okay. So, like, let's get like, would Rail have recognized it as something alive, or something other, like, on cursory inspection?
I will make an intelligence check for Rail. Because it
Okay.
looks like just a mound of black sludge.
Would Arcana apply or nah?
Honestly, nature.
Nature. Okay, and am I making this with or without disadvantage?
With
Because, like, again, when
Without.
he
This
scooped
is a
it up, he
previous
wasn't
one.
exhausted, but
Yeah.
now he is. Okay. So here's going. Ooh, 28.
28. You would know
That's
that
Pretty damn good roll.
Rail would know that black puddings, as well as most oozes, work via acidic dissolving of entrapped creatures. They can dissolve flesh, wood, metal, and even bone. Or, sorry, flesh, wood, bone, and even metal. They can only really be kept in stone or glass containers.
Okay.
It would need to be sealed very tightly, but as it is not a being which has a respiratory system, it does not particularly need oxygen. So if you put it in
It's like a mason jar would
yeah,
work.
if you put it in a sealed mason jar, it would be fine. It would just need to be fed periodically.
Did Rail get a pet?
Another pet. Already has Hermes.
Another pet, you are correct. Well,
He doesn't have to
Hermes is
feed
a
that one.
familiar.
Also, I guess K is technically Koa.
Well, not. I don't know if that still applies, given that he's no longer Simic. But sure.
I don't think he was ever Simic. I don't think he was recognized as one of the citizenry. I think
What?
it was
Rail?
Okay.
Oh. Right, no, but I mean, given that Rail is no longer a Simic and K. Well. Yeah, we got K from Crawl.
Yeah.
Fair point.
I
Alright.
think we're technically co-parents in this dog.
Are you parent trapping your dog?
You know what? I'm good with that. I'm very good with that.
Anyways.
So yes, I guess Rail would have kept it in a effectively airtight jar.
Yeah, they can fit through can squeeze through a space as narrow as 1 inch.
Okay, so again, like a mason jar.
Yeah. It would just need to have been fed periodically. Either, meat or chunks of wood or bone or metal.
Okay. You feed it scraps.
Is that what its name is? Scraps?
You know what? Yes, that is now officially its name.
Scraps the black
Now-
pudding.
Now we have a black pudding and a small colony of rotworms being fed off the table scraps.
Hmm.
And a flock of undead birds.
They don't eat.
I gotta say, Scraps is like the most horrible sourdough starter you have ever seen.
Oh my god.
But what are you trying to research with it?
Did you go to the lab to research, or did you stay up in the front room?
I would definitely go to the lab to research this.
Alright. Farrell may still be in there doing research on the orbs at this point.
I am.
Farrell, have you been doing anything that releases radiation lately? In here?
Yeah, I'm planning on it though, but don't worry about it.
I'm worried about it. I'm very worried about it.
Hmm.
Contain it. It'll be fun. Don't worry about it.
Maybe we should get one of the dorm rooms in the basement. Well, no, that's where we sleep. Bad idea, bad idea.
Let's
All right. So, what research are
Very
you looking to
careful,
do?
though.
Okay, so first off, let's see if we can. I would think the first thing to do would be determining. Well, I already know what it can and can't eat, so we can hopefully keep it healthy. Can we attempt to train it in any way? Just at least to,
It has an
stay in its
intelligence
container,
of 1.
to go to this area for food. Alright. How much does... Well, I'm assuming a rat would have better than that.
It is explicitly non-sentient.
Okay. Well, crap.
It can't be charmed, frightened, or anything like that.
It can't be charmed what or anything like that?
It can't be charmed or frightened. It doesn't have the awareness level of that level.
It's just an amoeba,
Okay.
basically.
Okay. So we can't rely on it to have good behavior. Or like any kind of... It'll just attempt to eat anything it can. So it's not so much of a pet, more of a plant. Let's see, is it? They don't normally come in this size, though, correct? They're normally much larger.
What was your intelligence roll again? Or your nature roll?
38.
Okay, so you know...
No, 28. 28.
28.
28.
I was
Sorry.
about to say, what?
28, sorry.
So you know that when a pudding is medium or larger is subject to lightning or slashing damage, it splits into 2 new puddings.
Right.
And the
So potentially this could be a fragment of a larger
Yeah.
one.
new puddings are one size smaller than the original. This is tiny. So what you get the impression of is that it was a small one was split in 2 to produce this sample.
Okay, so who, why, and what happened to the other half? That's not something we can easily figure out over here.
There were these notes on slime
We found
Oh,
black
translated.
ooze. We found black ooze and cleaned it out of the condenser coil, didn't we?
Yep.
We did. Huh. So that could be part of that.
And what was the condenser coil hooked up to?
Thought it was just on a regular vial. I didn't think it was actually hooked into the system. Was it?
No, it wasn't hooked into the system, but it was, drip feeding into something.
Like a jar? It was like really dried by the time we found it, right?
Yep.
Somebody was harvesting this thing? Or am I misunderstanding?
The condenser coil distills magical energies into a distillate form.
Into a distillate form, and this is what we found it. This... Right. And by that distillate form, do you mean this, or do you mean this was like feeding on it? I may be misunderstanding something.
I think he means its other half was being distilled into a black powder
Oh.
in the condenser coil in the lab. Don't worry, we cleaned the condenser coil out. It's nice and clean now.
Okay.
Do we have any samples of the
The powder.
Cleaned it at the lab.
With the lab that's now underwater?
Yeah.
And the condenser coil is also still down there.
No,
It's
the
in our
condenser
lab.
coil is like maybe 4 feet
Oh.
away from you.
Because Ingrid is a pack rat. There's 3 sets of Simic beakers, some various Simic notebooks that Fairdeer said, oh, it's okay, put them in our
Okay.
lab, like the 5th time that Ingrid asked.
So, in that case,
And the condenser coil.
goal. Make sure that we can safely contain this. Make sure that we can safely contain scraps. Feed up scraps to a larger size. then split it into multiple research subjects and see what happens if we feed them into the coil.
I like to think you're thinking out loud with Frizz and Fairdeer in there.
I
mean,
do too.
Is he not?
They're both there.
No,
I
Rail
think.
is saying this out loud. Yeah, Rail has a habit of speaking to himself out loud while he's researching.
So,
But how does Sathan can crap? Okay, didn't spill anything.
I would like to think that sound was scraps being spilled across a table.
Oh no. No, I just knocked over an empty can of seltzer.
so you're trying to use this condenser coil right here, right?
Well, yes. I mean,
Do we have another one?
another condenser coil?
Uh-huh.
Not
I
really.
thought we only had the one.
Huh.
Why do you
Well,
ask?
okay then. Out of character. I've been thinking about cool things to do with this for the last, like 3 hours that I've been sitting here. In character. No reason in particular.
He is talking about feeding it up to a large size first, so I think that
Yeah,
gives you
yeah.
some time.
Yeah. I was thinking about I don't know what to do with it. Anyway. But it's fun.
Yeah, it's more of a longer term project at this point, anyway.
I'd like to make an amendment to our articles of incorporation about before we perform any experiments, we need to get approval by at least majority to run said experiments.
I mean, if you insist,
I do.
I don't really see. Oh, all right.
Okay, and
I'll get with Griggum when he comes back.
I think with
Okay,
that
but
we're
in the
going
meantime, we can at least keep it,
Okay, and I think
right?
with that we're going to call it because I have to rearrange furniture downstairs and my back is not in the best of conditions.
Oof.
So,
We'll help you
Lift
if
with
I
the
can.
legs.
yeah, sure, that works. Do we have a cone?
Not this time. It's like, sadly, where all that went. It's like, I had a page for that. Like, yeah, no, not this time. I'm sorry to say.
You find what you're
Seems a
looking
little too
for when
quickly.
you're no longer looking for it.
Yeah,
Here we go.
Rails. Oh, go
all
ahead.
that you search for will always be in the last place you look.
Rail, say the line.
Technically correct. Okay, folks, take care of yourself. Take care of each other. And please, do what a polite werewolf would do. Like and subscribe.
All right. So, as Rail said, if you're watching this on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and even comment if you want to help us improve our visibility on the algorithm. We are looking to hit to 100 subscribers eventually, so we can get that fancy custom URL. If you're watching this on our live broadcast on Twitch, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Patreon is coming along nicely. I have the one-shot starter episodes up and loaded. I need to do the post for that. And then I will be taking it live and putting it up on our information down below. Our next broadcast is going to be Tuesday, the 16th, I think? Or, wait, hold on. No, that's not right. Our next broadcast is Friday the 12th. We'll be doing Shadowrun Session 0. And then we will be doing our Sunday game on the 14th as normal. On the 16th, I will be doing a 1-year sit down and talk with anyone who wants to show up. And then, yeah, we'll be going forward like that. I'm GM Gyarados. this has been the Second Sight Agency campaign on the bonus roll. Please stay safe and fight the good fight. Alright, intro is up. I had fun. Did y'all have fun? I had fun.
I had fun.
Fun.
Excellent. I'm going to turn off the audio now that I have it on record that y'all had fun.